I have another project behind me. This is something I've had for a long time. I've already kind of redone it once before, right after I got it the first time. But that was many years ago, and it needs to be gone through and redone again. It's a 986 Pasquali, Italian made. Well, I've tried to do research on the internet. Some places say it was made in Spain. The tag on the tractor says it was made in Italy. I don't honestly know, and I don't really know anybody that can tell me, but yeah, it wasn't supposed to be the color it is now. It was repainted when I first got it. Originally, these are kind of a cream color with orange wheels. I didn't like that. To me, it looked more like an old International 2+2. And I like Internationals. I collect antique tractors, and I love old 2+2s. They're oddballs, and they're kind of cool looking. And you sit back there on the back end, and the front end is what swings around, so that's kind of where I went with it, and just said, yep, painted International red, make it look like a 2+2. And it worked great for a lot of years, but it's set up for the last 3 or 4, and I started having issues with the motor. Well, I've got a friend of mine that's got a fairly sizable antique tractor collection. He's actually the guy that I got this thing off of. I carried it to him, and yeah, it wasn't the engine. I was having starter troubles. I felt like a jackass, but hey, we pulled the starter off, cleaned it all up, got it going, and then it started having other issues. Fueling issues. So we pulled the fuel tank off. I ordered a filter, the closest that I could find to what's supposed to go on this, because you can't find the original one for this tractor anymore. We steam cleaned and hot water pressure washed out the fuel tank, and a lot of tar and junk came out of it. A lot of junk, tar and rust flakes and just nasty stuff. And then it did what old fuel tanks do and developed leaks. So we epoxy coated the bottom third of the tank. I know most people don't epoxy coat the outside. Don't jump on me. That coating is actually ready for fuel, and it's worked great. We've had it sitting with that epoxy on it for the last month, and no fuel has leaked out of it, so it works. Don't get on me about it being on the outside. Once it hardens and cures, you can sand it down, flush it up, and paint it, and you'll never know it was epoxy coated. I'm good with that. Got the fuel system fixed. Had to jump the starter because my key switch decided to die, and got it started and running and brought it home. And here's where the fun begins. Here's where the fun begins, because on top of all the other projects I have, like the little pedal tractor I need to get going for my son, and farming, because it's that time of year, I'm gonna be working on this thing and trying to restore it and rebuild it and modify it a little bit. Not much, so anybody that knows these Pasqualis and is a purist, don't get on me. I put this thing to work, so don't jump on me there. But there's a few things we're gonna change on this rig, starting with that. That's not the original muffler. That's actually not even a muffler. It's a couple of pieces of exhaust pipe welded together. That big piece there, it's hollow in the middle, so it's really loud. And the older I get, well, straight pipe loud exhaust is not cool anymore, especially when you're the one sitting behind it. So that's gonna get I've got an IH Cub muffler that I'm gonna stand up in its place and put the little rain flap on top. That's gonna get put on there. It's also gonna get completely sandblasted. We've got a F20 Farmall that whenever we fire the sandblaster up and start blasting the paint off it to redo it, I'm gonna carry this over there and we'll blast it at the same time. But it's gonna get sandblasted, and then I gotta do is, well, for anybody that restores tractors, just basic maintenance stuff with the wiring and the fuel system. The fuel system's actually good now. I just need to replace the hoses, but the wiring is a whole different subject. Those are solder joints, and that's not electrical tape. I don't know what that is. I've already replaced one wire because it was a lot worse than this one. But I'm gonna go through and basically strip down all the wiring and redo it. That little capped piece right there is the fuse box, and it's not a fuse box I've ever seen, so that's gonna get replaced with a normal small fuse style fuse box, because I've got some things I'm gonna add to this tractor, mainly lights. It has plugs in behind this front panel. That silver piece here, on certain tractors, they can be optioned with headlights, so I'm gonna pull that off. If it's got buckets or holes, I'm gonna put headlights in there. If not, I'm gonna have to cut that piece and put the headlights in it. But I'm gonna put headlights on it. Probably gonna leave that big chunk of iron. I put that on there years ago for another thing that I built for this that did not work. I'm gonna knock these pieces of iron off the front. Probably leave that because it works really good as a kind of a bash bar to protect the front end. And I'll probably put some work lights off of that. And I'm gonna put a flasher relay on this tractor because I wanna put hazard lights on the front and the rear. It does have a seat pan and rear fenders. It's off it right now because I gotta work on that hydraulic cylinder. But I'm gonna have work lights and the rear hazards on it, and possibly a small SCV symbol. Can't put the big one because I'd just look out of place. But get that. I've got a few small leaks. My steering gearbox, which is a manual gearbox, I've got to get that replaced. If anybody knows anything about these 986s, I don't know what year model this is. If anybody knows how to look that up, get a hold of me. I'd love to know what year it is. I think it's an early 70s. There's a few little clues that make me think it's an early serial number one. Mainly the levers here. They are original Pasquali. They actually have the little Pasquali logo in them. You can barely see it on that one. But they have the little logo, like there on the hood, stamped in the end of these little levers. The newer versions had a T-handle on them from the factory. So that kind of leads me to thinking that. Plus, this one does not have the second PTO. These Pasqualis are an Italian vineyard tractor. They're designed to pull tillers and other things that you would need in a vineyard. This one only has the tiller PTO. Now, the downside of that PTO shaft is it doesn't have the little notch for the detents to hold the PTO shaft in place. You actually have to lock the piece of equipment down that holds the PTO shaft in. That's what this piece and this piece right here are for. Why I have both tiller attachments, I don't know. I only have the one that uses this one. So this is gonna come off, and I'm gonna put category 1 3-point arms on it, because that's what it's rated for, is category 1. I've got some Cat 1 equipment, so I can use the 3-point. I don't need that second tiller attachment. I mean, I do need the first one because I have a Pasquali tiller. That's the one that came with this tractor. I have the other one. So that piece is coming off, 3-point arms are going on it, and I'll go on down the road. Like I said, there's just a few things that are gonna be kind of weird. I'd love to find or have made a set of International decals for the side. Like I said, I'm gonna paint it back red with the silver wheels, just like a 2+2 International would have been. I'd like to find a little small, or have made a small 2+2 badge for there. The hardest thing that I'm gonna have a time with this rig on, because all of my hard to find parts that I'll have to get a hold of somebody in Italy or Spain or Germany, wherever they handle parts for these things, that's all good. Everything runs, the motor's strong, the transmission's good. The decals are my Achilles heel on this tractor. Mainly the dash decal. That, which has all of my range box gears, my PTO, all of it basically tells me what everything's supposed to be selected as on these levers. I don't know that I'm gonna have to be able to find that. I may have to find somebody else that's got one of these 986s that's got a good dash panel that can send me a picture, and I'll just have to have one made, along with the other warning decals and other various things that were supposed to be on here from the factory that have long since gone away. Aside from decals and paint and wiring and hoses, and of course the category 1 3-point arms, really it's just some small stuff that I can find at my local co-op or anywhere around. I need a seat for it because the old original seat was shot. I need the lights, which I've got some LED lights from various other projects. I had to get the flasher relay, but that's easy. I can get all that when I get my wiring stuff. And the lights for the flashers. I need tires. Those are gonna be fun to find. Well, not fun, just expensive. I'm pretty sure these are the originals. These are Goodyear 650 16s. So, hey, Goodyear, you've got a good set of tires on here from the 70s that are still holding air, and, well, I could still work them. I'm just afraid with the cracks going down the middle of the lugs, I'd rip the lugs off. So, you know, I need a new set of tires. But yeah, it's gonna be an oddball project. It's gonna take some time. Fortunately, right now, time is not on my side because we're going into planting season. So as soon as everything dries out, because it's been raining lately. That's why I haven't put any videos up, is because it's been really wet. But this thing's gonna be gone through, as well as I've got a few pedal tractors for my little rugrat and a few other little things. Because the guy where I got this from, he's got a very large tractor collection that we've been documenting, and he's looking at selling it off. And there's some really cool stuff out there that I kind of want to show y'all. And you know, it's interesting to me because it's farm history, and it's stuff that not a lot of people have seen, not a lot of people know about. So I'd kind of like to go through some of his collection and kind of highlight a few pieces and show y'all here if that's something y'all would be interested in. But yeah, as far as this thing, it's going to be on here. I'm going to be going through working on it. Probably have to do some time lapses and put some music behind it, because it's going to take me some time, and if y'all were listening to me in here in the shop working on it, there'd be some very colorful language. If you've ever been around a mechanic shop, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, stay tuned. That's what's coming up on the channel.